so last year I was chasing people. I'm glad people are chasing me this year.
That's right.
That's a good feeling. Yes.
That's
yes.
very So here we have Adnan Pathan, who has actually done a previous episode with us on Spot On Insurance. And here we are at ITC, and I just want to get his take of what ITC has meant for him. Is this your first time?
It's my second time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just like us.
So now you feel much more prepared, right? Because we hear the first time you're kind of lost.
Right.
Second time you feel like,
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so for me, when I came here for the first time, I was very new to the innovation department. So for me, it was a lot of learning, capability, a lot of learning that was going on. And as I got mature in my job and I had the exposure working with different companies, then I realized I have to have a game plan, right? So the game plan is either going to be on the underwriting side or on the claim side. You just can't come in and think you're going to fix the whole insurance company by just kind of grabbing everyone. So what we have been doing internally is kind of figuring out what are the big problems, and then once we have identified the big problems, now you need to find solutions for that. You think internally, you think externally. Externally, you're looking at vendors, you're looking at startups, so we're just kind of looking at the whole picture.
Oh,
so
wow.
I came in with a very specific plan and trying to execute on that.
Okay, and so when you come out to a venue like ITC, 7,000, 8,000
Yeah.
attendees,
Yeah.
what's your game plan when you come in? Do you prepare way before? How
Yeah.
do you reach out to people?
So one thing I've learned is be open-minded, right? So you just go out there, you have to have a plan, as I said, come in and you have to target certain companies. The challenge is that when you read their descriptions, it doesn't give you the clear picture, but it just kind of gauges your interest. So you kind of create your check mark of all the companies you want to meet. But one thing I've been doing is I have not more than a dozen companies that I wanted to meet. If you have 20, 30, you're just not going to have the quality time. So I made sure I have quality time with these companies. I can ask questions. I can take as much time as I need because they're face-to-face with me. And if I have to speak with the right person, I'll do that. But on the flip side, I'll just do, when you watch American Pickers, they just do freelance. So I've been sort of doing freelancing. And the good thing about it is there are things that are happening even though I keep track of all the insurance and industry-related news. I'm just one person, and there's no way I can keep track of it. So I came across a couple of companies that are very interesting. They're not in compensation side of the equation, workers' comp. They're doing things on life and annuity, and that's kind of giving me ideas that why not worth thinking about it. So plan, and in combination with a bit of freelancing as well.
So when you come to ITC, you come with it in mind that some things you guys will develop in-house, right?
Right.
And sometimes you'll partner up maybe with a startup.
Exactly. Yes. So I think that's the big challenge for me. So I'm going to speak personally. You have to make a distinction between, first and foremost, you have to identify the problem, right?
Right.
And once you identify the problem, then you have to identify 1, 2, 3, the hierarchy of the problems. Then you have to identify within those problems which one is a process improvement, which one is because of the people. You don't have enough people. You don't have enough human capital. Which one are truly requiring innovative solutions? So I think you have to kind of bifurcate all the problems that you have. Innovation should be working on the problems that are not, you should be solving problems. But I think you should start with problems that are innovative, because once you have a very creative, innovative solution, it gets the whole company thinking, well, hang on, we have that problem, what about thinking outside the box?
Right.
So we need to, what I've been trying to do is identify the problems, put a hierarchy on it, meet with the senior leaders, say here's what we're thinking. What do you think about it? Should we take on that project or not? So kind of getting them on board before we're doing things on our own, and later on we find out that the executive is not on board. That's the 10th problem they want to solve. They have other problems lined up. Communication, identify the problem. Innovation should be a very small box. Thinking should be global, right? But the problem that you're trying to solve should be local. So that's what we're trying to do.
I also love what you said, that even though they might be in a different area of the insurance industry, in a different sector, but they've come up with a solution, so you kind of take away from that, like, hey, how can I apply that solution to the workers' comp area?
That's a really good way to innovate, because sometimes there are a lot of things that are solved in other industries, in other areas that we in insurance do not know about. And when you find it, you go, wait a minute.
Right.
Once you find it, you're like, we can use this in insurance. We
Right.
need to adopt this. We can bring this in, put a new face on it, a new skin, and be able to do something similar. Yeah.
And actually, it's sort of the reverse for me as well. So I met this, some friends with a gentleman who started his own company. I met them through Hartford Insuretech, and he was concentrated on a commercial auto side of the equation. I said, hey, wait, this can apply to workers' compensation. So it was sort of a reverse, things are happening in reverse where I'm telling them, hey, you should not be putting yourself in a box right here.
You can serve even more people.
It's a core competency of your business should be commercial auto. Your competence should be insurance, right? So there are lines of businesses that you can target. So I was very, very happy with the fact that he took on my advice and is kind of thinking broadly rather than just having a very narrow scope.
Very good.
Good.
It's wonderful being here. Just getting people's feedback on how they take away, things that they're seeing in the conference and how they're applying it in their businesses, right?
Correct, exactly.
I think it's so helpful for our listeners, especially those thinking of coming to ITC, to see how different people are processing this, coming here and planning, the way they're speaking to people, the way they're meeting the people in the industry. It just gives them a game plan from day one, because we all know that first year when you come to ITC, you're kind of shell-shocked, you're overwhelmed by so much that's going on, and you're trying to get in as many of these classes as possible.
Right, yeah.
As opposed to the following year when you come in and you say, okay, I understand the process now, I know what I'm going to do.
Right.
It kind of happened the same way for us. Our year last year was more of a learning year. This year is more like, oh wow, we're meeting all these people. We had 25 people all ready to meet by the time we got here.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Same thing with me.
And it's awesome.
All these meetings lined up.
Yes.
So last year I was chasing people. I'm glad people are chasing me this year.
That's
so
right.
same
That's
thing.
very
Good
good.
feeling. Yes,
That's
it's
very
sort of
good.
a good feeling.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Thank you
Adnan.
for having me. Really
Yes.
appreciate it.
And tell me again, what was in the Middle East? Did they have a speed limit, or you could go as fast as you want? I mean, is that a road that I want to get on, or
Yeah, they don't have an autobahns the way they have it in Germany, but there are certain places where you can go and go nuts with it. So there are places, but let's go to Dubai together and I'll show you the places.
one of these days? One of these days, I gotta get to Dubai.
Yeah.
Kidnap Ted to take him with him.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you very much.